Good morning.
Hello, hello. How we doing?
Great.
Good. Long time no speak.
I really do have to shut the music off for you two because you cannot talk while this music is playing. It's amazing.
It's too loud.
Really
we can't even hear ourselves with that on. I'm like, good
Was
morning.
it really loud? I'm so
Yes.
sorry. I don't know why that
No
would be
worries.
so loud.
No worries, no worries. How was your weekend? How are you? What's going on? Good to see you.
I'm coming off
I
of my
had a
sugar
lovely
coma
weekend.
or sugar high, sugar rush.
Hey, I was
I don't
sent
have
out this morning as my kids left for school for the first time since spring break, and they said, go get all the half-price Easter candy. Go get it now.
Oh, they're not wrong.
See,
Well-
now, what was your favorite Easter candy? I like those, and I didn't get any this year. I like the little malt balled Easter eggs. They're like malt balls, but they're white color and stuff like that.
They make me
Oh.
violently ill. Malt makes me violently ill.
Really?
First of all, malt is delicious. I'm sorry to hear that. 'Cause it
Yeah,
is
I know.
delicious.
I think I overdid it.
Um,
Whoppers.
But wait a minute. What are you saying? They're malt balls? That's what you like, though, John?
I do, yeah. That's like my favorite Easter candy. And then my least favorite Easter candy, jelly beans.
What about the Cadbury?
Now, I got
Yeah.
one
Don't
Cadbury
make a
egg.
face, Melissa.
I made one Cadbury egg, and thank God it was the caramel one, not the one that looks like an egg, because I don't like that.
I love them.
Yeah, I think I'm with Melissa on that.
I love them. Love them.
Not a big
Oh,
fan
yeah.
of the jelly bean.
Oh,
Got to be in the mood for a good jelly bean.
love jelly beans. And actually, over the years, they have had some major jelly bean developments and improvements. I like the Strawburst jelly beans.
Mm.
Not a big fan of the sweet tart jelly beans. The Brock's ones will do in a pinch because the pink ones are delicious. I'm a jelly bean connoisseur. Jelly
It
Belly is
seems.
also the classic one, especially the fruity.
That's all year
I love
round,
a Cadbury
though.
egg. I know. I love a Cadbury egg, though. They're delish. I found at Five Below a cookie that's like half Oreo on the bottom and then Cadbury egg schmear in the middle and then chocolate all around it. It's very strange. Scott liked it, so I brought them for him, even though we all have no one really, the whole planet has no business eating them. Let's not lie. But anyway, so.
I like the Russell Stover bunnies, the milk chocolate bunny.
Now, the
I know.
solid one
It's
or
a classic.
the solid
So-
one? See, that's a little
yeah.
too much chocolate.
She's
No.
a purist.
Who says that? That's a little too much
That's
chocolate.
true.
It's the good side. It's yummy. It's super yummy.
Okay, so now I'm a Christian, so I really don't know this. I'm asking because I don't know. So are you, since Passover is during Christmas,
It's
Easter,
not always, though.
Easter, since it's, all right, are you allowed to eat Easter candy during Passover? Or what's the rule?
The only thing you can't eat on Passover is technically the things you're not supposed to eat on Passover is any kind of bread that's risen.
Okay.
It's symbolic of the Jews having to run out of Egypt without time for their bread to rise.
Okay.
So it's called chametz, and it includes bread and like noodles, anything with flour in it. Really, you're not supposed to eat, like granola. I mean,
Frozen pancakes?
As in
like
pancakes.
pancakes.
But
yeah.
Mallory, last night we were going to dinner, of course, because that's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And we went for Chinese food because we're Jews and it's a holiday. So she said,
And what
"Hey,"
else is open?
Right. She said, hey, Mom, are we the eating rice Jews or the don't eat rice Jews for Passover? And we're the don't eat rice Jews. And I said, you can eat whatever you want. I'm just asking because we were in an airport
Rice doesn't
for
rise.
well,
It
it's
has
a grain.
flour.
It's a grain that we
grain.
can't have.
It's a grain. Okay. 'cause
That we
back to the
can't
grain.
have. But
But corn is allowed if you're Ashkenazi, which means Eastern European and not
My
Spanish.
goodness. The rules to be a Jew. The book
Oh, my
must
God.
be bigger than the Bible.
that's its own podcast.
Isaac goes to a Jewish community center and they don't allow bread this week. So I have to. So in other words, if I couldn't give him guacamole and corn chips, he'd have no friggin' lunch. I mean, like today he has yogurt and fruit with an apple, and I sent granola because it's oats. I hope they don't take it away from him though, because oats don't rise.
Is that illegal? You know what?
I don't know.
I
I just
used to
sent
know.
it and prayed.
I used to
I
care.
don't know.
Yeah, I used to care. I don't anymore. So for us right now,
Well,
it's
yeah, so-
symbolic. So we're not
So
having
Easter
bread.
candy is allowed because it's chocolate, but if you have it over a pretzel or in a cookie, then no, you can't really have it.
Yes. I have also a Chinese food story. So we were on our way back from the shore. My daughter is driving. She has a permit, so I let her drive to the shore. And on our way back, she said, let's get something to eat. So we were trying to find a place, and there was a Chinese place that I used to love. And I went, and everything was packed. So we went by the Chinese place, and it wasn't crowded. So I said, oh, let's try this place. So we went in, and the guy was there. I haven't been there in like 15 years. So the guy's still there. And I go, hey, how's it going? Oh, good. Walks with a limp. He's older now, and he can barely speak English. He's got like I don't know how to explain, like almost like a speech impediment, and his English wasn't good in the beginning. So we order.
He stroked out.
Who did?
The guy. If he's got the, she's back.
Maybe he did.
I mean, if his speech is off and he's limping and he's stroked out.
He might have. So, but he's still working. God love him. He's still working. So I order a dish, and then there's a table like next to us that ordered something. So the guy comes out. He's bringing food out. He brings it to them. He comes out. He goes to give him my food. And he goes to put it down, and he looks at it, looks at his thing, and goes, now, she's already had the food on her table for like 5 minutes. He goes over, grabs her food, and goes, no, you got the wrong stuff. What's
Oh, my God.
the dish and comes over and gives me that. And she's like, I ate from that. And I go, and he goes, oh, you ate already? Okay. And he grabs the food off of my table, gives it back to her, and gives me her dish. And she looks at me, and I look at her, and I go, would you like this?
Oh, my God.
And she's like, I ate off of that. And I go, it doesn't bother me. I said, Chinese food is meant to be shared. I said, no, she's like, no, that's okay. You eat that. I'll eat this. It really wasn't that much of a difference. It was a seafood dish with a spicy sauce. So I think mine was all seafood. Hers was seafood and chicken. So I got chicken and seafood. I didn't have as much seafood as I wanted, but I'm like, eh. So, I ate it, and he comes over and goes, so what do you think? And I went, she has excellent choices. She made an excellent choice. What do you say? I don't know what to say. I mean, they're so close, and there's nobody in there.
What do I think? I think you're nuts.
Yeah, I think you should have gave her another dish of what she ordered, but
Right.
I have a feeling that the place is like in disrepair. And then I was a little nervous about what was actually in the chicken. Was it actually chicken?
Is that when you posted
Don't
the
say
picture
that,
of what
John,
you...
never say that. That's illegal in this country. Don't
When
say
you-
that.
I know, but it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. You know how many times
I don't
they
care.
get
Don't
busted
say
for
that.
that?
No, not in New Jersey. Not.
Oh,
no.
yes, they
don't get
do.
busted around here for that.
Yes, they
do
did.
not.
I'm telling you, I'll pull news stories.
What were you? No.
I'm serious.
Don't. I don't want to know.
So I know you won't go back again. We had a Korean family move in when I guess I was like 17 years old. They moved in, and we were talking, and they had children like our age, and we were friends with them, and we went in, and I said, what do you think of this country? Because they had come from Korea. And I said, what do you think of this country? And she goes, it's amazing how all the little animals are all running around and nobody eats them. I was like, okay.
Oh, my God.
I was like, okay. All right.
Oh, God.
Do you want some of this? I'm good.
I actually have a story about that. Did I ever tell you this story?
Yeah, no, probably.
My father went to China when I was in high school. He somehow finagled his way onto like a trip to China with his friend from high school. They wanted to find, like a place to eat. And so they found a very nice young man and a young Chinese college student who offered to be their tour for the guide for the day for however much money. And they followed him around China. And then found him a restaurant, and my dad everyone sat down, and it was like meat covered in orange sauce. And my dad said, what is this? He said, it's a duck. So he goes, oh, great. He starts eating it, and it didn't taste like duck he was used to. So he was like, this is duck, quack, quack, right? And the guy goes, no, a duck, a woof, woof.
I had a feeling.
And my dad dropped the fork on the plate, and he was like, all I could think of was our dog, Stretch, when we were growing up. He was like, I had to stop eating it.
There's a whole dog festival in China, the Yulin Dog Festival, where they do terrible, terrible things to our family members, our pets, and torture them and then eat them, which is, while they're alive, torture them and then eat them, which is just the biggest horror. And I have a friend from high school who posts pictures of it and videos of it. And my thumb, once it's in your head, it can't get out. So as I'm scrolling down at that kind of time of year, I can't scroll fast enough. And I I almost want to block her for a few days just till that's over.
You
But
can unfollow her, period, if you want.
you know there are horrible atrocities in the world. I want to shelter myself. I will contribute. I will post. I will do whatever I can from here. But please do not make me watch that. That's just the worst.
Mhm.
The worst.
I agree
It's
with
the
that.
worst.
I mean, even
The worst.
somebody like me who hunts and stuff like that, I'm not for making an animal suffer. I'm for quick kills and, less suffering for the animal and stuff like that. So anyhow, but
Any hooser. We've got a little.
little off
So,
topic there.
I don't know what we're cutting out from the nose blowing, so I'll keep going.
We're back.
Okay, we're back.
So back to Melissa and how she needs less family trips. So tell us about this family trip. You went to LA.
Well, before I went on my trip, I had a meeting at school. It was
Ooh, let's get into
last-
that.
Oh, yes.
The last
We
two
forgot to talk
meetings-
about that, please.
the last two meetings we had had been canceled because of snow. I meet with our school's principal and like 4 other women, like the PTO president and other representatives from our school, the middle school.
Do you often meet with these people, or is this a fluke?
I meet with them monthly, and then the next day is a monthly meeting where we are the middle school representatives and the other people have meetings with their principals, and they go to this second meeting the next day, the same meeting that I do, and they represent all the elementary schools. There are people who represent the high school, and we all get together. But this is the pre-meeting that I had before we left. And in the pre-meeting, talk. These are things that we're going to take to the big meeting the next day. We're going to talk about things that are going well, things we're worried about, things we want the rest of the district to know. Super. I don't know how I got targeted for this, and I mean targeted. But he identified me. I was targeted, and I'm on this committee. Hopefully I'll do it for the high school next year because I'm starting to dig it. Then we're closing, and this one of the women, who I have totally respected until this very second, says, you could send more emails to us telling us what's going on and keep in better touch. And I said, that's what made you a whore.
That's not what she said.
This is totally what makes her a
John.
whore. This is totally what makes her a whore. And I said, oh, no, please do not send me more emails because, those emails come. I barely look at them. If you're not getting to the topic in the first sentence and a half, I'm out. So I said, you need to do what the high school does and either post it on Twitter, post it on Instagram or Facebook. They have all of those pages. I don't know if they have an Instagram. I'm on an Instagram for the high school. It's not the school's page, but between Twitter and Facebook, just put it there. It'll pop up on my screen. If not, I could search it and see what you did and I could find you. And one of the mothers turns and says, no, that's a terrible idea because not everybody is on social media.
What?
And I looked at her. That's very similar to what I said. I said, what? Who raised you? A pack of wolves? Must have been. So I said to her, and here's what got me in trouble and on fire, if you have children in middle school or high school and you are not on their social media, you are a bad parent. I said that is bad parenting. If you
did
are
not say that.
You are not on the medium where 75 to 90% of your kid's life is happening, you are irresponsible, and that is bad parenting.
Okay.
And she also said,
You're a fucking dick. I just think she's ignorant.
Did you seriously tell her she was a bad parent, though?
I said,
She
if
is.
you are not on there, that is
Doesn't matter.
bad parenting.
it is.
And
Oh my God, Melissa!
I'm not wrong.
She's not.
I am not wrong.
Most kids are not on Facebook, though. They're on Insta and Snapchat.
First of
Okay,
all,
and okay.
all those kids are there. They have a secret account you can't see, and that's where all the nonsense goes on.
They
Right.
don't like Facebook. Most of them
Correct. They are not, but they are on Instagram. They are on Snapchat, which you can't really control as much. But they're on Twitter also, and they see.
don't. Yes, they're on Twitter.
For you not to know what's going on in those places and to know what's out there and to maybe not even have, if you don't have your own account, I don't care, but to not have your kid's account to see what's happening or while your kid is in 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th,
Do you
10th
think maybe
grade.
It never occurred to her to do that?
My kids blocked me.
Bad parenting. It is bad parenting not to know what your kids are doing in a whole world that you're missing. And then she said, well, I'm not going to talk about this.
Oh my God, because you called her a bad parent.
And she is a bad parent. There's
Doesn't
no
matter.
other.
You can't tell people that.
Sure you can. She
I
just did.
just did. I just did. And there was somebody else there who agreed with her. So I'm looking across the table at this principal that I've truly respected for 4 years, 3 for Ethan, now for Mal. Like, what's happening right now? And
what's happening is you should have been a little more political about it.
I could have been more tactful, but the fact of the matter is she's so wrong that I didn't say I said that is bad parenting.
There you go.
Okay.
I
am not saying I don't agree with you, because not only do I agree with you, but I was thinking about running a whole business where I taught parents how to do that. So I agree with you.
That's a great idea.
What's not a good idea is telling someone that they're engaging in bad parenting. Ever. That's never a good idea.
So I left that meeting and I got home and I exploded on Stuart, and I sat down and I wrote an email to the principal and I said, I bet you're totally second guessing putting me on this committee right now, as I just threw down in your office. And I mean, the PTO president was there, and she, instead of engaging, she looked at her phone and didn't pay attention to this and didn't engage. And I thought, really? Where are you? I need you right now. You know I'm right.
So confrontational. It doesn't matter if you're right. Right is not always the key. It's really confrontational, and it's the drama that people don't like, regardless of the right or wrong. They don't like when people start drama, especially in that environment. Like, for example, when my kids were in middle school, and actually still in Delaware, they don't make it mandatory to do, they call it HAC, and it's like where each teacher is supposed to put up every day what the homework assignments are and the quizzes and the tests and where they are and what the scores are.
Yeah.
And like, I know to this day, because I have a friend whose kid is in high school now, that they don't do it, and they certainly don't do it on a regular basis. So my 2 kids with ADHD, like, I was desperate to know what the homework was every day so that I could keep up on them. And all I needed was the teacher's cooperation in doing it every day. And I couldn't get it. And actually in 7th grade, I said, okay, well then you know what I'm going to do? I am just going to set an email to the teachers to go out every single day. I was using Boomerang, and it was just an email that went out every day. Hi, it's Jessica. What homework does Emily have? Hi, it's Jessica. What homework does Nathan have? And the English teacher said to me, I never use my email. And I looked at her and I was like, I think at the time it was 2010. And I was like, what do you mean you don't use your email for work? What do you mean? I said, I've had email since 1992. This is 2010. You're a teacher and an educator of our young people. What do you mean you don't use your... I mean, I went ballistic over it. Don't tell me you don't use your email. How dare you? Don't use your email. I mean, granted, she was like an elderly... She was like...
You gave her a heart attack.
Over 60 and possibly into her 70s. She was probably like the last teacher from the hippie, whatever. But still, what do you mean? I went nuts.
I don't trust them pooter boxes.
Help me a little bit here. You can't help me a tiny. So I am right there with you. It is irresponsible. It is bad parenting. It's almost neglect not to have your kids' social media.
Yes, 1,000 times yes.
Said, you could have just been like,
oh, coulda,
well, I don't agree with that approach anyway, and then just moved on. You told her a bad parent in front of everyone in the... Melissa.
Sure did.
Bad.
So, you know what I have a problem with? I have a problem with people telling me what I should have said. You should have said this. Yeah.
Coulda.
Guess what? I didn't. This is what I said. Deal with it. And if you don't like what I said, too bad.
So I get a phone call from the principal.
I don't give a shit what she said. I'm just saying
it gets better.
So I get a phone call from the principal, and I said, did you get my email? He goes, no, I just got back to my office. You sent me an email? I said, yeah. I said, I bet you're second guessing putting me on this committee. And he said, I wish I could have put you on it sooner. You are absolutely right. I completely agree with you. Yeah.
Hey.
But I'm like, where the fuck were you in that meeting? But
where was she? Was it she?
It was the end of the meeting, and we were ready to go. One of the women said, I need to talk to you after the meeting. So it was like, all right, everybody else get out kind of thing. And the reason I was so like on fire was because you can't just dismiss this topic. You're wrong. I mean, if this were a fight with my husband, no way you could dismiss a topic. Like No, I'm not finished. You're a bad, bad person for not knowing parenting.
Not only is now she's not a bad parent, now she's a bad person. It's getting better.
What kind of person is in an argument and says, I'm not talking about this, and walks away? You're a fucking child. You're a child who is now a bad parent. So maybe you're not a bad person, but you're a child who's a bad parent.
Can I just ask you something, though? Do you think she's going to be a better parent after having heard this from you?
You think she's going to just go in and sign up for social media now? I mean, it's not happening. I know why she said she's not talking to you about this anymore, because she's not changing her mind. You're not changing your mind.
And also, she's no longer open to hearing your point of view about it. That's why she didn't want to say
I can't wait for the next meeting. Do you know how many more we have? We have one a month until the school's over. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
Can you record it? Can you put your phone in the center of the table and hit record?
Don't you think for a second QuickTime isn't going to be open on my iPhone?
That's so funny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I get that all the time. Like, I'll say something and I'll say, oh, you know what? You should have said it this way. And I'm like, guess what? This is how I communicate. All right? If you're a little too touchy, if you're too twitchy, if my message comes off as curt, well, I apologize. But if you got the meaning of what I said,
don't say you apologize. You don't mean that.
I'm apologizing that they're a little upset. That's why I'm apologizing.
I'm apologizing that you're wrong. Exactly.
Right.
I'm sorry you don't understand and you've made bad choices. I am sorry for that.
I'm sorry that your little sphincter is so twitchy that a sentence or the way I say something all of a sudden puts you in a tizzy.
It really surprised me. Because she has an older kid in the high school. She has like a 10th, older than Ethan. So she has like a 10th or 11th grader. And that's everything. That's their world. When I take my kids' phones away, they are twitchy. Like they have serious, and I take it away all week. So I see it. And it's not till Wednesday that they're normal humans. And then they get it back Friday after school. So I guess there are times where I guess I could have said it. I don't know. I mean it. You're a bad parent.
You say it the way you say it, and that's it. Just the fact that it's that serious. Why sugarcoat something that's serious? Those kids could be doing something. There was just a story where a girl who was like 16 or something ran off with a guy who she met on social media, and they were, conversating back and forth. Conversing.
I like his better. That's Southern, isn't it?
They were conversating back and forth. He signed her out from school, and they didn't know where she was. They put out an Amber out on her. Okay.
Same thing.
Yeah. So, again, you have to pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah, you have to know. They're your children. I mean,
no one's debating this part, you guys.
Well, I mean, I think some parents, because they don't want to deal with it or they don't like it or, they do an ostrich, they stick their head in the sand, and they don't worry about it until it becomes a problem, until it comes back and slaps them in the face. And then...
What was your major in college, Melissa?
Political science and history.
Perfect. What about you, John?
Communications.
Mine was communications, too. And so both of y'all should know better...
Well, I didn't finish.
...than to try and get a message across that way and expect a positive result.
I was so shocked, I guess. I have friends who chose...
That's fine.
I have friends who chose not to be, so that was my response when I was shocked. I have friends who chose not to be on Facebook because they didn't want to find ex-boyfriends or have their husbands, look for other women. I get the protest of Facebook. I do. But when you have teenage children, don't go on Facebook. Go on their account. Put their account on your phone so you can just lurk a little and see if a 35-year-old man is friending them and checking them out of school. If somebody is calling them fat in a quiz, or if there's something you need to know about what's going on at the school, if they're you just need to know. You do. You're still responsible for these lives, and it's irresponsible. It's bad parenting. So go on as them. Don't go on as you. I'm not telling you to step out on your husband and to look for, I don't know. I'm not telling you to be active.
Again, not debating the thing that made you angry, just the way that you said that.
The message.
That's all.
Yes.
All right, well, fuck them all because they're bad parents. If they're
don't teach
they're not
me
on
about how to be on
social
social media. I was the only parent on social media when my kids were on there. Don't forget, they started in 2010.
That's true. Yeah,
I was the only parent. Everyone else was like, "What's this Facebook thing? How's this Twitter shit work?" Like, it was just me. No one else. Not even you. You were not on social media then when my kids were on social media. So on both of you, I know, I dig it,
now,
I get it.
Hang on there, Missy, before you go.
That's just bad parenting, bitch.
I had the Twitter in 2007.
You are the Twitter.
You are
Yeah.
the Twitter. Shut up, Twitter.
All right, so maybe not you.
If you don't
All
say
right,
it
so
on mic, it
you-
didn't happen.
You took a while.
All right. So I'll let you know for the next meeting how that goes.
I can't wait.
Yeah. I'm kind of nervous now that I've podcasted about it as well, to actually get all of those feelings out and made it worse.
Well, I
Make it
don't
worse.
understand. I mean, I think you actually got a chance to explain why you feel that way. You know, you see what goes on with children, and you see something that's egregiously wrong. I mean, how do you not know the technology, or at least be able to be on it? So if something happens, you can do something about it.
I tell Ethan, if you're going to post something or even text your friends, assume that his parents or her parents are going to see it. Don't write something that you mind their parents seeing, because I take your phone and I look and I see Mallory's friends and his friends in like scantily clad on spring break and everything but nipple. I mean, I know you like that word, John. So I see
Actually,
Not when
everything.
you're talking about a teenager, I don't.
I see everything, but I see kids vaping on Instagram. I see like all these things. Your kid's vaping and you don't know it because you're not together enough or aware enough.
How do you
to
not
be
know
looking
when
at
your kid's vaping?
Instagram?
Are your heart
telling you.
smelling? How do you
I'm
not
telling
Yeah,
you,
but it smells like
they
fruit.
don't know
You
because
can't always
they are
know.
because they're not looking.
It's fruity
They're-
smelling.
Well, there you go.
It
There's
smells
the smell.
like perfume.
Were you chewing gum? No, I was vaping strawberry oil, whatever. I mean, you can't know if you're not there. So
Where do they get money to vape? Like, how do you get a vape pen? How do you get the
Friends.
money for that? Aren't they expensive?
Yeah, they're like hundreds of dollars.
Right. So how do they get the money for a vape pen?
They share. I guess one of them gets one and they share it. Again.
Hey,
I don't know.
good gracious. Again,
I mean,
these kids today.
I agree.
bad parenting
With their hair and their clothes.
I know.
with their hair. Get off my lawn.
Yeah.
You kids,
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn.
Then you took these little ankle biters on a trip.
I did. We flew out to LA, and on the plane, it's a 6-hour flight on the way there. And on the plane, 1 hour into our flight, we hear ding. Is there any medical personnel on the plane? Is there a doctor on the plane?
How come everywhere Stuart goes, someone needs a fucking doctor? Didn't he have to revive someone on Yom Kippur?
Really?
Oh, yeah, somebody went down.
Doesn't
Yes.
this poor guy get a day off?
John, we went out to dinner very soon after Yom Kippur one year, and Stuart told me that not only did he revive 3 old people on Yom Kippur that year, but it happens every year because no person knows when they're too old or sick not to fast.
That's exactly it. It's Yom Kippur. You haven't eaten, and you took pills in the morning.
every year the guy's got his doctor bag, schlepping it into Shoal.
Good gracious.
Ridiculous.
You know, thank God.
Anyway,
I have to say, no one's ever going to be on a plane, and you're never going to hear, is someone on a plane a podcaster? I mean, that's
no,
never going to
never.
happen. I'm safe.
Listen, we all have our strengths.
Right.
Yeah, so I look over. His mouth is agape. He's half sleeping, right? And an
Oh,
hour
God!
in, right? So Mallory elbows him, and he's like, "I'm up. What?" And he goes in the back. There was a young woman who.
Uh-oh.
So when he gets back there, there's a young woman who is naked in the bathroom, like pinging around back there, and he's very careful. So it turns
Why is she
out
naked?
shook off all her
There we
clothes.
go.
It turns out she was an addict who has some mental challenges. He told me she's a psychotic who was on mushrooms before she got on the plane. She shot up on the plane. Excuse me, I can't get a bag of goldfish that has a metal lining in the bag of goldfish onto this plane. And she brought a needle with her. So she shot
People
up on the
bring
plane.
needles for diabetes.
Yeah.
A needle, you can bring a syringe if there's nothing in it.
So I guess the staff on the plane must have seen she had anxiety and they gave her a Xanax. So for
Oh,
those
God.
of you counting at home, she took mushrooms, she shot up, and she had a Xanax in her. And she was already not sane to start with. So she's screaming and she's going through stuff. Well, let me just say, for the next 5 hours on that flight, 4.5 hours, Stuart stood in the back. That bathroom was out of commission. And I don't know, an hour before landing, she starts screaming, keeping in mind also that another person in a blazer went back there. And I said, ooh, a fancy doctor. Like, oh, there's somebody else. Thank God. Maybe Stuart could sit down. He was an air marshal and couldn't take the blazer off because he was carrying. And just wanted to make sure everything
Probably
was
didn't
okay.
need his help, though.
Right. I don't know.
What can he do?
We all could have gotten a good nap in if just shot her, just fixed it. Stuart
Where was
fixed
she
it.
going? Any idea?
Jail.
She came from jail. She had a band on from where she was in a detention center, and she was flying to LA for rehab. So, yeah, but she was unaccompanied. So that would have been helpful
Smart.
for somebody to accompany her. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been great. So when we landed finally, and Stuart got to stretch his legs because he's kind of tall, so even standing up in the back, he was still kind of hunched over. We saw a woman who was waiting for her from the rehab. So he talked to her and said, hey, if you're waiting for this person, you might want to leave the baggage claim area and go check her by security because that's where she will be. And that was the flight out. Let's see. Oh, Santa Monica. So much fun. Hoover Dam on the way to Las Vegas. And everybody in my family except for me went surfing. It was a great, great trip.
Why
Great
not
trip.
you?
All right, ready? Those fears? I can't swim.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
You told us that before.
I have a fear. That's one of my other fears. I didn't talk about. Sorry. Yeah, so everybody went
Wait a
surfing.
minute.
We did a Hollywood Hills tour, which was totally touristy, and my friends Marty and Lisa totally made fun of us for, oh, they're taking one of the... We're tourists. We are tourists. When you come to Philly, I take you for cheesesteaks where you're a tourist, and I don't normally do. So let me go on this bus tour. It's awesome. And that was fun and great. And we went to Vegas, saw a couple of shows, and on the flight home... Yeah, I don't swim. And on the flight home, we were delayed. I think if you delay for 24 hours, you have to rebook.
Go back and come back.
You have to rebook.
What?
You have to rebook your flight. It's a canceled flight if it's 24 hours. But they made it 22 hours instead of 24. So they gave us a hotel voucher. We waited in line for like 6 hours with 220 people. And it was kind of a hot mess. And everybody said, oh, that's great. You have another day in Vegas. I said, I think you mean the
God, you have
airport.
PTSD.
Yeah. So traveling with this family is not a good experience. We haven't had a good experience, but the vacation was fun and we had a great time. And if you would like to always plan a trip with us, you will always have a doctor on board. Ding.
Yeah, it's funny. I went to
Barb.
Chicago one time for a poker tournament, and when I fly, I get 2 seats. I'm one of those guys, which is fine. I don't mind
It's
that.
expensive.
Sure it is, but whatever. So I get in there, and they let you board first. So I board first. I get right at the bulkhead because it's got more leg room. And a lady comes on, and I take the aisle seat. I don't want the window seat, so I take the aisle seat. So she goes all the way to the window, and her husband sits on the other side. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So she's sitting there. So all of a sudden, we get the plane takes off. I mean, the plane was still climbing. She was sound asleep. So I'm like, oh, no big deal.
Lucky.
The plane levels off. We're maybe 20 minutes into the flight. And she sits up, looks at me. I'm like, hi. And then she takes the seatbelt off and sits on the floor. And I'm like,
Odd.
exactly, with her back to the wall. So I'm like, everything okay?
The bulkhead.
Yeah, not the bulkhead, the side of the plane. The side of
Okay.
the plane. So
Ooh.
where the wind is. She's got her back against that. And with that,
Okay.
she puts her head back and passes out. And I'm like,
like actual passing
yeah,
out?
she passes out. And I'm like, great. So then I look over and her husband's sitting there, right? So I tap him on the shoulder. I go, sir, I think your wife just passed out. And he's like, oh my God. So now here comes the flight attendants and all. They come running over. Next thing you know, is there a doctor on the plane? And then there's no doctors on the plane. So they bring out the oxygen tank. Meanwhile, John, can you please get up and move? Well, it's a full flight, right? I stood in the aisle from, I don't know where we were until we landed. When everybody's buckles in, they were still working on her. I had to stand. There was no seat for me. So I stood from there. So then when I get off the plane, I go, excuse me, I would like a refund on my plane fare. And they go, why? And I go, because I didn't sit in my seat for over half the flight.
not only that, you paid for 2 seats and you didn't sit in one of them.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, she started throwing. I don't know what was wrong with her. So anyhow, when they finally landed and we pulled up to the gate and they bring the thing in, they come wheeling in with this red chair that looked like a hand truck. They put her in, they strap her on, they wheeled her right off, her and her husband. They were going their way to Arizona, but they had to go off there. I don't know what was wrong with her.
Rehab.
No. She was older. She was an older woman. But, I mean, she just sat there. She looked at me like she wanted to say something. I'm like, hello. And then she just sat down on the floor. And I'm like, is everything okay? And with that, her eyes rolled it back in her head. And she just, like, passed out. And I'm like,
she must have felt it coming.
That is scary as shit.
Really? My flight inconveniencing me? Come on now.
Poor John.
What airline was that?
Southwest, I think it was.
Because that's the other thing. We took American Airlines out there when they had that problem with that woman, and they sent Stuart an email that said, we'd like to give you miles. Well, we don't really. Okay, thanks. That doesn't help. Why don't you fly us somewhere? Give us a ticket. How about a ticket? But no, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But the way home was Spirit Airlines.
Mm-hmm.
And,
no, never.
Well, never again. We said that in the airport. # never again.
Girl.
It was a super cheap flight, and now we know why.
Never again.
And they had like 30 flights that were delayed, but we were the one that was delayed till the next. I mean, it was an 11-something flight postponed until the next day at 9 a.m. Like, what the fuck are we supposed to do besides wait in line for you to give us a meal voucher for $7 a meal, realizing that I can't get on your plane and get a snack for $7. Everything's more than $7. So where are you thinking Vegas we're going to go and get a meal for $7? I don't know.
The airport.
Yeah, I don't think you could do that there either, unless it's an egg and cheese in the morning. That was a good $7 sandwich.
There you go.
On bread, by the way, because we missed a Seder coming back because of the fiasco, and we missed the first Seder. We would have made it home, and then the next day we missed the second one. So that's why it's symbolic for us at this point, because we've already had bread during Passover, and now we're just doing without the yumminess of cookies and bread and pancakes. Oh,
That upsets me about that girl, because they should have known to have her accompanied.
Yes.
Especially if she was coming from jail and going to rehab. You can get drugs literally anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
All you need is a cell phone. So I don't know why they didn't think she wasn't going to have some kind of like, this is my last chance.
Like everybody else does.
Everyone.
Every
person in the world would do it. Has done it and will do it.
Well, how about that?
Did you have a regular week last week?
Yes, I did a lot of comedy writing. I had my comedy class last Sunday, which was really good. We learned some joke formulas. And then I spent the whole week just like brainstorming jokes, and I've been doing it.
Hold on a second. Can I just stop you right there? Joke formulas like E = MC laugh. What is a joke formula?
Yeah.
Like, give me a joke formula.
Okay, so one is like the setup punchline.
Okay.
One is what's called the rule of threes, when you have 2 things that you list that make sense and then a third one that's like out of nowhere. So, for example, when I say, they like Scott a lot better than they like my first husband, my family, because he was smart and he was educated and he wore pants to dinner. That's the rule of 3.
I gotcha. Okay. Just checking.
That's just an example.
It's a good one.
I'm trying to think. It's a good one, right?
Yeah, it's a good one.
Let me see. There's a bunch. Like there's one called like the bonus joke, where you do a joke. Like if I were to have done that joke, the bonus joke would be, and even zip them or something like that. You know what I mean? Like you just do like a tag on to keep people laughing.
So I guess my question is, are you enjoying the class? Was it worth the money?
I've only been once. It was $250. So far, it's worth the money simply because
of the formulas?
I'm enjoying writing. Yeah, it wasn't just that class. Like that class she talked about the formulas at the beginning. She went off topic and talked a little bit about having stage presence and confidence when you stand up. And like the reason why people move the mic stand out of the way is because you don't want a barrier between you and the audience, because you need them to relate to you. So people always have to get that out of the way. And then you move it back when you're done, and then you move it back. Like the reason why you see people doing this is because you're like,
I understand
here's the
that
barrier. I'm done.
It makes what makes sense to me is, why don't you just keep the mic stand behind you, put the mic there. When the next guy walks, he picks the mic up and then walks up to the people.
Because they're replacing the barrier. It's all psychological.
Okay.
But I just thought it was interesting. I found it interesting. And then the other half of the class was 2 hours. The other hour was us trying out our material. So we went through the class. Like most of us got to go up there and work our material a little bit.
Cool.
And then the teacher took notes and laughed or didn't laugh. It was good.
One of my favorite YouTube videos is where Bernie Mac, God rest his soul, he had come out on stage. The guy before him had bombed. And the audience was like really, really a tough audience. So he walks out and he says, good luck. And Bernie goes, I got this. And he walked out and he destroyed. And the first thing he walked out, he grabbed the microphone, moved the mic stand. He looked at everybody and he goes, I ain't afraid of you motherfuckers. And he went right into his thing.
That was a good impression.
Oh, I can do a Bernie Mac.
That's exactly how he talks.
Yeah. So he went in and he destroyed. And I'll tell you one thing. If I ever do stand up, I want a full black audience because when they laugh, they throw their back into it. They
formula.
Fall. Their hands are in the air. They're I love it. So, and what's nice about the routine is they got the light up where you can see the crowd, and that when he first walks out, they're like stoic, and within 3 jokes, it looks like water. They're like rolling all over the place. It's amazing. So
I saw Tracy Morgan at King of Prussia Valley Forge. It was not even that long ago, and I did feel like the only white couple there, but I don't care. I just was like, I think all these people hate me for being here. But anyway, so we were making friends with the couple next to us, and then Tracy started telling jokes, and every time he would tell a good joke, the woman next to us would be like, so stupid. And like, it's so funny, so stupid. It was hilarious. There are a couple black comedians in the class, too. Anyway, so I started out doing material about like my ex and like thinking it would be a good idea to get married because he had a well-behaved dog, like that kind of stuff. But I think instead, I mean, I actually probably do have an hour's worth of material just on my life alone, but like I might instead do jokes about parenting when you're 20 versus parenting when you're 40 with someone little, or pregnancy when you're 20 versus pregnancy when you're 40. Like I have a lot of
don't do it
material there. I mean, I can only do 5 minutes. So no, but I mean, I started out wanting to like explain that people are constantly wondering if he's an accident. And what a stupid question that is, because I'm 40 now. Who would, he's a science experiment. They're the accident. Nobody has a kid when they're 21 on purpose.
Well, you say that, but when I was 40, actually 39, we did have a little whoopsie. And that...
I know. You had 2 little whoopsies.
That produced twins.
I know.
So, yes, that does happen. You know what happens?
Of course it happens.
You get brave. You get brave or you get lazy. Lazy and brave is a actual... way to have it.
It's a terrible combination.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, I've been writing jokes all week. I've written jokes about Emily. I've written jokes about my in-laws. Laura thinks I should do a whole set on my mother-in-law.
I do too. Are you kidding? She's like a fountain that never stops giving. It amazing.
Never stops giving. I just have to spend like a day with her, and I have 8 more jokes. It's true.
I can't get over Thanksgiving and how she stole all the good stuffing like that.
I forgot. Oh, I gotta write that down.
Who does that? I mean, that's a sociopath right there. She's
and took the bones.
She stole all the.
And your bones.
Yes, she ruined my bones. Oh, you guys, thank you. I was trying to remember all the questions that she asked me that required the answer of who me.
That's where who me came from.
I know, but I only remembered a few of the questions. But as I was thinking about it, I was remembering more. So, like for example, what are you making for dinner tonight, or are you doing laundry today?
Yes.
Or
me?
Do you have a sewing kit?
Well, what drives me crazy with my ex is like she wants me to do something. So she says to me, what are you doing Tuesday? And I go, I can't stand that.
She doesn't say
I
want to know
that.
Yes, I want to know. It's like, hey, listen, John doesn't have school today on Tuesday. I need you to watch him. The answer to that is yes.
Then
okay,
say it.
fine.
Don't
yes.
ask me what I'm doing and see if you could crowbar.
Why am I now in a thought process of what's going to happen in 3 days? You know I have like no memory. I have no idea what to do. I have to set my phone to take my pills. Why are you going to ask me what I'm going to be doing in 3 days? That's ridiculous. Because now I'm like, then I'm like, why am I thinking about this? Oh, that's right. She wants something. So then I go, what do you want? And then she tells me. That's how it always works. So yeah, it's one of those pet peeves that happens all the time.
Happens with us too.
Mhm.
I'll just turn around and say, "What do you want?"
Exactly.
Ask for what you want. Stop trying to manipulate the whole situation to suit. Just ask. You want something? Ask. The answer will probably be yes. But now that you have me on fire for your stupid techniques, the answer is no.
Right. And then the other thing I have a
Yeah.
problem with right now that's driving me crazy, I think it's my OCD or whatever, is I'm afraid that my house smells like old guy. So like I went out and bought these because I only live here, so I'm the old guy, right? So I went out and I bought these this thing here, the thing that sprays every
Scentables, yeah.
every hour and a half it makes a spritz, and it actually smells lovely down here. So I have one upstairs and one downstairs, so the place don't smell like old guy.
Stuart and I just had a fight about that this morning. He is always so careful before I podcast not to argue with me, but I have those Bath and Body Works plugins, the
Yes.
wall things. So I plug them in all over the house, and the house really has one scent. We really just use one smell
What's
that I
your
really
smell?
love. It's called Beautiful Day.
Okay, I'm a clean linen guy.
Yeah, yep, clean. It's just a clean, a little florally smell, but you're a guy living solo. Clean linen's the way to go for you.
Mm-hmm.
But in Ethan's room, I'll put something a little muskier because he's a teenage boy, and dear God, teenage boy. Whew. So I put the muskier one in Stuart's bathroom also, and maybe one of them broke or it wasn't working, and he's been complaining for the better part of 6 months that it's broken. So I replaced it for him. I bought a new one. This thing right here. I bought a new one.
Oh, look at you.
I plugged it in, and why is it on my desk? And it hits me in the face as I walk by his bathroom now, this musky smell. But better to get hit with a musky smell than
Ball sack.
any other smell from that room. Exactly. So today he said, I'm going to, there are sales everywhere, and I potentially left a coupon open on the computer downstairs. I'm going to talk to Bath & Body Works. This thing's broken. And I said, it is not broken. I can smell it every time I pass your bathroom.
Oh,
Every time
interesting that they can't.
he can't smell that smell, that odor, that
Maybe he's hard of smelling.
he said he smells it in the hallway when he passes the other ones. Why can't he smell that? Are there certain smells that people...
It shouldn't be. Either your nose works or it doesn't.
Is that true?
Maybe a doctor has
I
this
think.
thing that kind of shuts off the nasal passages to a certain. Once it gets to a certain
Do you think
level,
the formaldehyde has ruined his sense
I'm
of
not
smell?
saying formaldehyde, but I'm sure a
There
cross
might be
between
something to that.
urine and body odor
Maybe.
might
There
be
might
the.
be something to that, because when our kids were babies, and I would say, you're sitting in a room with a kid with a shit in his diaper and you can't smell it, like he just didn't smell things.
Because
but
he
he's-
probably smells it all the time.
He's immune to it.
But he smells the one in the hallway. He said he smells the other ones.
Hmm.
So now I have to
Interesting.
put the florally fresh, clean one in his bathroom that's not as powerful in blocking out the odors that I don't want to smell. But
Right.
that was a whole... I just
That's
didn't know
very interesting.
if that was a thing where you can lose, like you can lose parts of your hearing. You can't hear...
Maybe he's hard of smelling.
He's hard of smelling. He's losing his smelling.
Yeah.
That's a brain tumor. It better not be.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's true.
He's now taken to saying, when I say something about, changing the filters, he's like, just open up the contact on our phone. I'm like, I know. Just go do it. Stop telling me where to find the answer. Just do it.
Mhm.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God.
Hard of smelling. See if that's a thing. Hard of smelling.
Hey, I have a little bit of an argument, or a little bit of, I want to lodge a complaint.
Uh-oh.
Easter this year was on April Fool's Day, and I feel like I got
Yes.
cheated out of a holiday. Like there's no real good
not a-
April
it's not a
April
holiday.
Fool's joke, because there was no because it was on Easter and everybody was doing Easter stuff, and I think they really forgot about the April Fool's joke, and now it's over and you can't do anything about it. I feel like I got
My
gypped
son
of a
this
holiday.
morning, I called him yesterday, wished him a happy Easter. He didn't call me back. This morning he texts me and says, I am so pissed at Dad. Yesterday, when we got into church, he started talking to everybody about how stupid my girlfriend, Jackie, is. That's his girlfriend. And then when I told him to stop, he yelled at me in front of the entire church and told me to sit down, and I hate him. You better call me right away. So I'm like, oh my God, he must be drunk. What is he doing that in the middle of church on Easter? It's like the worst thing I ever heard. So I call him after I drop off Isaac. I call him and he goes, I'm so mad. And I was like, what's the matter? And he goes, I'm just mad that you fell for that April Fool's joke. I was like, you dick. It was yesterday. He goes, I was busy.
Right.
So it's first of all, it's not a holiday. It's a day.
It is if you're funny. Come on.
And second of all, it's for children, isn't it?
No.
No, it's the opposite.
Yes.
How is April Fool's Day for children?
Sometimes you can really throw your
Why
back
would they make a chocolate Whopper if that was for children?
That's true.
Did you see the chocolate Whopper?
Well, I did it to my daughter. This was my April Fool's joke to my
grotesque.
daughter. I texted her, and I said, someone told me you sound like an owl. And then she texts back, what? With a question mark. And I said, yeah, someone texted me. I was talking to someone, and they told me you sound like an owl. And then she puts in, who? And I put the smiley faces, the laughing faces, because owl, who? And then she goes, what? Yeah. What do you? Oh, never mind. I get it. And then I typed in April Fool's, and then I put that up as I think it was an Instagram story. I actually made it.
A lot of people yesterday took out all the chocolates from the chocolate eggs and wrapped up grapes.
Wow.
That's the perfect
commitment.
April Fool. Yeah, I like that.
That's for kids.
I was listening to a podcast, and a guy, for his cereal, you know how sometimes you put fruit in your cereal, like a strawberry or maybe a raisin or something like that? He puts grapes in his cereal. And he says,
that's gross.
He said that, and then the other guy, his co-host, said it was gross. And then they brought in cereal milk and grapes, and the co-host tried it and said, you know what? It's not bad. I think the problem with a grape is it's a little too big.
Care.
You might have to half the grape.
If you have it, then I think it would be okay.
Right. But I look at Melissa's face. No grapes.
Yeah, I don't want fruit in my cereal. I want sugar in my cereal. And right now on Passover, all I want is cereal. So shut up. That's really all
funny.
I want.
Like I think acceptable cereal fruit is bananas,
that's
strawberries, and blueberries,
and berries.
Right, and maybe an occasional raisin.
No
apples.
I guess
I like
Raisin
raisins.
Bran.
Right. I like a freeze dried strawberry, like what they put in with the Special K with strawberry.
Oh.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. It's got a little chewiness, but then you get the strawberry flavor. I'm down with that. But there's like you wouldn't put melon in your cereal.
No, that's weird.
No watermelon.
Concur.
The grape, I guess, is bad.
Stuart's breakfast today was several handfuls of berries with sour cream on top. That's fucking disgusting. I mean, that's just gross.
What's wrong with him?
Where to start? That's just gross. Besides the fact that he's hard of smelling, what's wrong with him is he just ate, I don't know, a pint of fruit.
Maybe it's his taste buds that are off.
That's true.
Maybe that's true, too.
Well, what happens is if you're hard of smelling is part of your
gross.
taste. So if you can't smell it, you can't taste it.
Maybe I'll ask him to lick that wallflower. Just lick it. Tell me if you taste it. Lick it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Lick it.
Terrible.
Lick
it.
So,
okay.
John, I heard they're delivering at Target now.
Get out. Really?
What?
Yeah, Target has delivery now, same day, too.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, so you were going to Walmart, and I totally protest Walmart because because they suck. But they also taking
the man.
Yeah, they're taking Cosmo off their racks because it's Cosmo, and fuck them. Don't go to Walmart. But Target is the mothership. So if they're going to deliver to you, that's the way to go.
They deliver like Amazon delivers, or they?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't Target delivery called shipping?
No, I mean they'll do food also. It's $49 for the year.
Wait, what?
It's a club. Now you're going to search it.
I wonder if I have it.
You on fire.
So you have $49 for the year, but then how much?
Are you sure that wasn't an April Fool's joke?
I don't think it's. I think I heard about it before April 1st.
Target same-day delivery service that shops the cart you create and delivers it fast, saving you time and energy using the app Shipt, SHIPT.
So if it's $49 for your membership, I guess you just tip the guy when he comes.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's supposed to be $99 for the year, but it's $49 right now if you sign up at the get-go.
Do you guys carry? I never carry money.
Carry money. It's
It's available. Holy shit balls. What about yours? What's your zip code?
Who? Me?
You.
Yeah,
It's-
just beep it out. It's available.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I mean,
Target.
Well, I mean, there's Targets all
/
around me.
SHIPT. There's one right down the street from me.
Yeah, so it's very easy. But I mean,
Isn't that great?
is
so I get free
exciting.
2-day shipping here. That's all it says.
It's actually, go to shipped.com/Target.
Oh, okay.
I think we just did an ad for them, and I think we should absolutely get paid for it.
Yeah.
We'll be there first. So there's a discount on the shipping, and that's $49 right
Early
now.
bird membership, $49. I'm joining right now. Right friggin' now. I'm joining.
Really?
I mean,
Well, because I don't like to go to the store, and it's not like Scott can go when he needs stuff.
All right, I already have
Prime.
Yeah, Prime. So why would I do this?
because Target will deliver.
Because it's the same day.
Because Target will deliver your groceries, and if you do, the grocery section on Amazon, it's
Still
you have to hit a certain
takes
amount
days.
before you have 2 days, and it has to hit a certain amount before they'll send it to you, right?
Okay.
Don't you have to, or pay more, or actually pay shipping? And once you have Prime, the thought of paying shipping is just a horror,
Right.
a horror,
I agree with that.
a horror.
I finally got an Alexa, which is kind of cool.
Did she light up when you said her name?
Yes, she did. Hasn't happened in a while.
You know, when I watch Schitt's Creek, because the woman's name is Alexis,
Oh, yes.
that happens a billion times.
Does it?
And Scott and I have been binging it, and our ALEXA has been going nuts.
You know what's funny? I started watching it,
Mhm.
and then there's so much going on right now that I don't have time to watch it anymore. So I watched it for the longest. I watched like a bunch of them. Then I started watching Young Sheldon. Then I started watching that show Catastrophe.
Oh, I love that. That was hilarious.
And so I'm in the middle of that. So then I'm going to have to go back and watch that. Then Jessica Jones came back out again.
I just finished that.
Okay, well, don't tell me. Don't tell me anything.
I'm going to tell you everything. Here I go. I'm going to
Stop.
spoil everything
La,
for
la,
you.
la, la. I gotta, yeah, so
Kilgrave comes back.
it can't come back. He snapped his neck. She snapped his neck.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that happened.
And it's all so real.
Now I just spoiled it. Anybody that didn't watch the first season, I just ruined it for them. What?
And I,
Wait,
and
I'm
I
not
was
through the second season.
and
either.
I was just
I've only
kidding.
watched a little bit of it.
and I
Right.
was just
She
kidding.
was kidding, and I just ruined season 1. See how that happens? That's why you never talk spoilers.
You guys are two dicks.
We are.
You said that to us before too. It's not the first
Two
time
dicks.
today you've said that to us.
Nope, it's not.
You're a
As a
fucking
matter of fact.
dick.
Exactly.
You guys
That's
are two
me
That is
big
you.
old dicks.
in a box.
I forget why you said that, but you were like really fired up that day.
Yeah,
That's where I got that, and I got this one too.
that's what made you a whore.
Yes. I like those two. I like those two.
I don't
jobs.
remember that one. Oh, because we were probably talking about being slutty or something.
We while we were in Vegas, we saw this shop called Sugar. And inside, I mean, everything, you guessed it, candy store made of sugar. But if you combine the theory of Vegas and sugar together,
You get sex.
yes. So I sent Marco Polos to both of you of all of these like candy, candy necklaces. They had a candy bra top. They had it was ridiculous.
Sounds fun.
Everything I saw there was just ridiculous. And at one point, who doesn't want a chocolate dick? Exactly. And there was a chocolate
No
dick
one.
in a box. Exactly. Good girl.
Did you buy one? You should have got one for each of us.
Mally got a big marshmallow and I got nothing. I just got the fuck out of that store is what I got. Because I walked by while Marco Poloing, I showed you guys a chocolate cock ring.
Yes.
And Ethan said,
John.
What's a cock ring? I hear in the very background. And then the video cuts off, and I'm thinking to
how
myself,
did you explain that? Did you explain that?
Go ask your father wasn't good enough.
Was
Is
it?
there a doctor in the house?
yeah,
No.
go ask your father, and you know what Stuart said? Something your mother doesn't let me wear.
Oh my God.
You don't know that.
You don't know that. What do you know? He's right.
Maybe she
And
does
it's
let
not
him wear it.
it's not a let thing. It's a what?
Right.
Yeah, so I explained to him in the middle of Las Vegas, in the middle of the Las Vegas Strip, while holding a chocolate cock ring, what a cock ring is. And Mallory
I can't
walked
believe
over.
you did that.
What's my choice? Mallory walked over and I said, "Are
Not
those
much.
marshmallows over there?" And then she went running over to the marshmallows.
Oh, so
Thank God.
Ethan knows what a cock ring is. Mallory does not.
Correct.
Unless
so far, so good.
Ethan told her.
At least until they were in their room without you later.
Right.
And then Ethan went, Mallory.
Guess
Guess
what I
what
found
this
out
is.
today?
Ugh.
And it comes in chocolate.
Ooh, it comes in chocolate. John.
Did you even explain what it was for?
Yes, I
gotta
had
tell you,
to.
I'm like
Melissa!
56 years old. I'm not even sure I know what it's for, to be quite honest with you. And not that I even want to find out.
My simple answer was, I hate my life. I just hate my
Yes.
life. But the simple
Tell us.
answer was,
I know what it's for.
a man puts it over his penis and it gives more pleasure as he becomes more and more erect. And I didn't say they come in vibrating and lighter uppers for her pleasure as well. Like I
But it's
kept
meant
it.
to be at the bottom, not the top.
Right. And did you also
Really?
tell them
Did
that
I
if
have
it
to-
gets too if it's too small, then you have to go to the hospital and have it cut off you because you cannot lose your
Yes, John, that's exactly what I told him.
well, you should, because the next thing you know, if you make it sound intriguing, the next thing you know, he'll be in the emergency room with a coat over his lap.
And you know who works in the emergency room, John?
Dad. Dad, what do I do with this?
We're just going to try to embarrass the hell out of him the rest of our lives, just walking into the ED with like all these issues.
Hmm.
Is this normal? Is there a doctor? Is this normal? Stu, your family's
Well,
here again.
what did Ethan say when you said that? I feel bad for him now that he has to know what that is. He probably
He-
thinks adults are disgusting.
He asked what it was. You know, we talked about this. Our kids are being raised in the age of porn. I don't know that he thinks anything's disgusting anymore, or anybody does. I feel sorry for them for that reason, that there's no figure stuff out on your own and mystery and trial and error. It's
Oh,
all just,
God.
well, this bitch did it on a video. You're doing it now. Like, it's all
Oh.
too much.
It's depressing.
Too much. It's
So
all
depressing.
too much. I'm trying to keep
It is too
Mallory
much.
young. I'm going to try to keep her
Let's
young.
see if Alexa knows. Alexa, what's a cock ring?
About $12.
That's a cheap one. What's it made of? Is she not talking to you?
She is. She told me exactly what it was.
What's funny, we couldn't hear it.
What did she say?
A band worn at the base of the penis used to stop the blood flow so that the penis becomes engorged.
Thanks, Alexa. Where were you when I was in
Where
sugar
were
with
you?
the?
Yeah.
Should have just told him to ask
Yeah.
Siri. Should we ask Siri? Hang on,
We
let
should
me
have
ask
those
Siri.
bitches fight it out. Is what you should do.
Hey, Siri,
Oh no.
How many?
what's a cock ring?
There's no need for that.
I don't know why she won't tell you. Alexa is more forthcoming. Than
Hey, Siri, why are you such a prude?
Is that what you think?
Oh, I like her voice. My Siri doesn't sound like that.
I have the British one.
Wait, so do I. Ready? Hey Siri, what's a cock ring?
There's no need for that.
Oh, you have the male one.
I do.
Okay.
I do. I don't know. I mean, I think she's easily, if I still call it a her, I think she's easily offended, and that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's no
Well,
need
if I
to
really-
be offended.
Yes.
But if you asked her to search the internet for what is a cock ring, she would do it.
All right, let's
She's
try
your-
that.
Go ahead.
Hey, Siri, search the internet for cock ring.
I didn't find anything on the web for cock ring.
Oh, I doubt that very much.
I like how she said it, though. Coke
Yeah.
ring.
Right.
That was lovely. So I found I found a dick in a box. I found a flask that says, "This tastes like I'm not going to work tomorrow," which I thought was super cute. And
I don't know why Siri can't just tell you shit.
I don't know why
Oh.
either.
Now-
She's,
Blowjob mints.
Now, who are
Yeah.
they for? The blowjob mints. I guess they're for the woman.
uh,
They're for the woman.
or,
Makes your
or
mouth
the
cold.
man,
Why would it
whoever
be
is
for the
giving the
man?
blowjob. Well, if
What does
he's
that do?
giving a
He's
blowjob,
gay.
With a
if he's
mint?
gi-
You think he cares whether your breath is minty fresh?
no,
Fresh?
honey, whoever's giving the blowjob, it
It
could be a
makes
man.
the mouth cold.
It could be a man. It
Oh,
could be a woman.
I see. Yes. I got you. Right,
So-
it could be.
It maketh the mouth cold.
Oh, look, it's a
Ooh,
it's a
candy
bra full of
bra.
Smarties.
It's a yes,
Whose boobs are that small? I wonder.
mine.
Not mine.
When I had
Not mine.
I had my bachelorette party. I had my friend give us all candy necklaces, and we had to walk around the streets of Manhattan and have it be empty by the time we got back to our hotel room. So we had to find men to eat candy off of our necks.
That shouldn't have been hard in New York.
No, it was not difficult at all.
That's what I
It was-
figured.
It was a good time. Good time.
There you go.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. I had a blow up doll of Eric Stoltz walking around with me.
Where does one find that?
Well, Crit found a blow-up doll, and she printed out, probably on a dot matrix printer because we're so fucking old, a picture of Eric Stoltz and taped it on his face. So while we went to this
Oh my
fun,
God.
awesome restaurant where they yelled, "Melissa's getting married tomorrow," and they put me stand on a table, and we all had tambourines, and we played music. Eric Stoltz waited behind the bar for me so I could walk around Manhattan holding him. It was pretty great. It was,
That's not embarrassing at all.
I was drunk. It was a great time. I don't remember.
A
a lot.
glorious time was had by all.
Yeah, and my sisters-in-law both came and spent the rest of the evening while we were getting candy eaten off of our necks in Penn Station, holding each other's hair, vomiting all over Penn Station.
Oh,
yeah, good times. Those
gosh.
girls know how to party.
Golly.
Sounds like they do.
Gosh and golly.
It's what I would do now if I went to the same kind of party. So that would be me now, but then I could take it.
Oh my gosh, my golly,
Yeah, all good times.
my goodness.
Yeah, I think my bachelor party days are over. I don't think that I want to.
Well, they should be over, shouldn't they?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Do they end? They should end.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
should end. Yeah, like you said, you would still do something like that. I would not.
I mean, I would go and leave early. I would try to be classy
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, same. I would leave early.
I had
Mhm.
I had a question for you guys as we were packing. You know, we were going to two different places. Is packing the bane of your existence, or is it just
Yes.
me?
Yes.
I hate it.
It's the worst because you have to think about, well, I'm going to change my clothes for nighttime, so that's what, 2 outfits a day, especially Jess for you on those conventions.
It is literally the worst. And I have an app. Let me tell you what it's called because I don't remember. But I use an app that's helpful, and it's still
Look at Melissa's
not
face.
too helpful.
You have an app for that?
It's called Packing Pro, and like for example, it says sample family, and it has like a very long list of all the things to do and stuff to pack. It's really good because it helps me not forget things. Like it has a whole list of medications to take, gadgets, chargers, makeup.
Oh, so it's a
It
checklist.
helps
It's a
It's a
checklist for you.
checklist.
Okay.
that you can customize for each trip. So I have a conference one now that I use.
Melissa had a look on her face
Um,
like it actually packed your bag for you.
Well, there was that
That would be so
episode of
awesome.
Big Bang where Sheldon scanned his socks and he scanned everything he packed in a bag, which I
How
thought,
does he get barcodes on his socks?
I don't know, but it was genius. So I thought, oh my God, is it that app? But no.
Like they
That's
have
crazy.
stickers for like camp where
Yeah.
instead of having to iron on, you use and you could print QR codes on them, I guess, and then you could
And
scan
put
it
that
with
on your
phone.
sock. Can you read the text my son just sent me?
It says, "I'm eating a sandwich
There you go. With no bread. That's
That's
a
not a sandwich; it's just meat.
it's a handwich.
Unless he's got peanut butter all over his fingers, that's not a sandwich.
It's a handwich.
A handwich, baracha, Passover joke
That's
for the
great.
win.
That's great. That's great.
That was a good one.
All right, ladies, what do you think we wrap this up?
I think we wrap it up.
Wrap
Yes,
it up,
thank
slip
you
it,
guys.
rub it down. Oh no.
Oh no, that's funny every time. Melissa.
Well, I can't stop.
Every time.
Don't mock me. Don't mock me.
Yeah, I think we've run out of shit to say. So thank you guys so much for listening to Brilliant Observations. It has been brilliant to have you. Please check out our show notes, brilliantobservations.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Listen Brilliant.
Would it kill you to write us? Would it kill you? You don't call, you don't write. We'd love to hear from
You
you.
don't-
And listen, if
Come
you
on,
don't have any of those
please write
social
us.
medias, you're a bad parent.
You're a bad parent.
Terrible, terrible parent. Brilliantobservations at gmail.com. Defend yourself.
all you
Defend
bad,
yourself.
All you bad parents out there.
For those of you who are new to listening, and I know there are a few of you, quite a few of you, thank you so much for being with us. I hope you'll stay with us a while. We love you. Please write us and let us know what you think. Thank you guys so much for listening. Take care. Have a good one.